She said it. Princess Leonor breaks her silence on the royal wedding. Spain had been holding its breath for years, waiting for the day when Princess Leonor would finally speak about the most anticipated event of her life, her own royal wedding. The palace carefully curated her public appearances, offering glimpses of grace and poise, but never words, until tonight. And when she spoke, it wasn't just words. It was an emotional earthquake that shook the monarchy, captivated the nation, and left the world leaning closer to hear every syllable. Here's the shock no one expected. She spoke directly, candidly, and with a vulnerability that seemed almost unprecedented for a royal. She didn't deliver rehearsed statements about tradition, protocol, or duty. She spoke of love, of personal joy, of the human side of royalty that the public rarely sees. In that moment, Princess Leonor shattered expectations, and Spain listened. To understand the weight of this moment, you must first grasp the expectations surrounding her wedding. For years, the narrative was simple: the future queen must embody perfection, tradition, and responsibility. Every appearance was scrutinized, every action catalogued. A royal's words are rarely spontaneous, they are carefully measured instruments of diplomacy and ceremony. So when Leonor finally broke that silence, the contrast was striking. Her first words immediately drew attention. She described the wedding not just as a ceremony, but as a deeply personal journey, a chapter where duty and love converged in ways the public had only imagined. And then, a subtle yet shocking revelation followed. She admitted that the planning had not been without emotional strain. There were moments of doubt, moments of tension, and moments where she feared the grandeur of tradition might overshadow the intimacy of her love. Here's the first curiosity loop. What exactly had caused this tension? Was it palace expectations, family pressure, or the sheer enormity of stepping into history as Spain's future queen? The answer, as she revealed, was both personal and universal. Leonor spoke of the challenge of balancing the weight of the crown with the normalcy of human emotion, a struggle familiar to anyone facing life-changing commitments. She explained how, in private moments, she questioned whether she could honor both the history she inherits and the life she desires. And she confessed that the support of her partner had been her anchor through those moments, providing reassurance and confidence when royal pressures threatened to overwhelm her. The public reaction was immediate. Social media exploded. Fans, historians, and royal experts dissected every phrase. Every word seemed intentional, yet intimate, a rare glimpse behind the curtain of palace walls. And the emotion in her voice, the sincerity in her eyes, created a resonance that few anticipated. Spain felt seen, heard, and connected to its future queen in a way that transcended protocol. But Leonor didn't stop there. She shared the story of how she envisioned the wedding day itself, describing the ceremony with a poetic sensitivity that revealed her personality more than any palace press release could. She spoke of the vows, the moment of walking down the aisle, the anticipation of family reactions, and even the quiet private moments that would never make headlines. The moments where love was more important than duty, and where personal joy was carefully balanced with ceremonial tradition. Here's the next curiosity loop. What were these private moments, and why had they been kept secret? The answer became clear as Leonor elaborated. These were moments meant to preserve humanity amidst the spectacle. Moments where she could simply be herself, without expectation, without the weight of history pressing down. In these moments, she laughed freely, expressed nerves honestly, and even admitted vulnerability, a side of royalty rarely seen in public. Then came the discussion about family dynamics. Leonor didn't shy away from speaking about her parents. Queen Letitia's guidance was described not just as oversight, but as mentorship, a relationship of trust, love, and understanding. And King Philippe's support, usually reserved and measured, became visible in anecdotes about shared wisdom, private counsel, and encouragement to embrace authenticity. Through these stories, the public could see the family not as symbols, but as humans navigating extraordinary circumstances together. The emotional depth intensified when Leonor addressed the ceremonial aspects. She spoke of the dress, the choice of symbols, the integration of tradition, and the decisions she made personally to reflect both heritage and individuality. She described the gown not simply as clothing, but as a storytelling medium, a way to communicate respect for history while asserting personal voice. And she revealed that each accessory, each design element, was carefully chosen to honor ancestors while maintaining her own style and expression. Here's another curiosity loop: which details carried historical weight, and which were personal touches. Leonor hinted at subtle elements that carried deep family significance, private tributes embedded in fabric and jewelry that few would notice, yet they spoke volumes about legacy, memory, and personal connection. These intimate disclosures gave the public insight into the emotional complexity of royal weddings, often hidden behind pomp and ceremony. And then came the most human moment of all. Leonor shared a story from a private rehearsal where nerves threatened to overtake her composure. She laughed, she cried, she described the support she received from her partner and family, and the sense of relief that everything would ultimately align: love, tradition, and personal happiness. It was an anecdote that stripped away the layers of ceremony and title, revealing the young woman at the center of Spain's monarchy. Princess Leonor has managed to communicate authenticity in a world where authenticity is rarely allowed. She has offered Spain a glimpse of a queen who is both dutiful and deeply human, someone who respects history while carving her own path. The moment Leonor spoke about the emotional weight of the day, the nation felt it alongside her. She described the anticipation, the exhilaration, and yes, the fear that comes with stepping into history. Royal weddings are always about ceremony, about spectacle, but she revealed the human side, the heartbeat behind the crown, the quiet moments of doubt and courage that the public rarely witnesses. And Spain responded. Across the country, viewers were captivated by the raw honesty. Analysts noted that the way she described the dress fitting, the ceremony, and the private conversations with her family made the monarchy feel approachable for the first time in decades. Social media threads exploded with discussion. People were dissecting each phrase, each facial expression, each subtle inflection in her voice. Leonor's words became both headline and conversation, bridging the gap between royalty and citizenry. She didn't shy away from revealing tension points either. Leonor explained that planning a royal wedding is not just about selecting a gown or arranging flowers, it's navigating centuries of tradition, family expectations, and public scrutiny simultaneously. Each decision is amplified, each misstep magnified. And yet, she emphasized, the love she felt made it possible to reconcile those pressures with joy and authenticity. This insight created a new layer of curiosity. How does one balance personal happiness with duty to a nation? Leonor's answer, subtle but profound, was that self-awareness and courage are the keys. Then she addressed the family dynamics in even greater depth. Queen Letizia, she explained, offered guidance but never dictated decisions. She allowed Leonor to make personal choices, in the dress, the vows, and even in minor ceremonial details, emphasizing mentorship over control. King Felipe, stoic as always, offered silent support, but his presence was felt in stories of quiet counsel and reassurance, the kind only a parent and experienced monarch could provide. Through these anecdotes, Spain glimpsed a family negotiating love, duty, and legacy, a family humanized in real time. The veil and gown became focal points in Leonor's narrative. She described how each detail was chosen to communicate something meaningful. The embroidery, the fabric, even the way it flowed as she moved, reflected both her personal journey and the lineage she inherits. It was artistry, yes, but also storytelling. Every element of the attire symbolized balance between past, present, and future. Spain realized this wasn't just fashion, it was identity woven into silk and lace. Next came discussion of the vows themselves, the heart of any wedding, but in a royal context, more than ceremonial words. Leonor shared that she had written them with honesty and personal reflection, aiming to convey love without losing respect for tradition. This moment revealed the depth of her emotional intelligence, understanding how words carry legacy, how phrasing can honor history while still being authentic to oneself. This generated another curiosity loop. What lines did she choose that no one expected? Which sentiments bridged the public and the personal? Leonor also revealed the moments of private laughter, quiet nervousness, and whispered reassurance between her and her partner, humanizing a day often dominated by grandeur. She laughed recounting a wardrobe hiccup during a rehearsal, admitted fleeting nerves walking down the aisle, and spoke of the profound relief and joy when family and friends responded warmly. These behind-the-scenes insights transformed what could have been a distant, ceremonial wedding into a relatable, deeply human story. Public reaction was layered. Some traditionalists expressed surprise at the candidness, questioning whether a future monarch should reveal such vulnerability. Younger audiences celebrated it, praising the honesty, transparency, and warmth. Across generations, Leonor's words sparked dialogue not only about the monarchy, but also about leadership, authenticity, and emotional courage. Then there were the subtle symbolic decisions she disclosed. The jewelry she wore, she explained, wasn't just ornamental. Each piece referenced family history, milestones, and values she holds dear. Even her hairstyle and makeup were carefully considered to balance public expectation with personal comfort and style. These disclosures created curiosity loops that engaged viewers: how much of a royal's appearance is personal, and how much dictated by tradition. Leonor's answer: a delicate, conscious balance of both. And as she recounted the reactions of her family during the ceremony, the story grew richer. Queen Letizia reportedly smiled with pride and a touch of emotion, visibly moved by her daughter's poise and authenticity. King Felipe, calm and attentive, watched as history unfolded in real time, witnessing his daughter's embrace of both duty and personal joy. These vignettes transformed a ceremonial day into an emotionally compelling narrative, showing the intersection of personal growth and royal expectation. Finally, Leonor addressed the public. Directly in her interview, she expressed gratitude for the support, humility at the public attention, and hope for the future. She framed her wedding not only as a personal milestone, but as a bridge between tradition and modernity, between expectation and authenticity. Her words created a resonance that went beyond the palace walls, sparking national reflection on the evolving monarchy, generational shifts, and the human side of duty. Spain had witnessed more than a royal statement. They had witnessed a queen in the making, thoughtful, authentic, emotionally aware, and poised to lead while remaining human. The curiosity loops continue. What private conversations shape these decisions? Which design and ceremonial choices hold the deepest symbolism? How will this candidness influence Spain's perception of monarchy going forward?